Guys, what's going on? Hope everyone is doing good. I just finished my last final exam. So there was a set of four. And the very last one was just a speaking, kind of interview thing. And I'm finally completely done with the Korean program here at Sogang University in Seoul. Today's topic is, a thought that came to mind, actually somewhat consistently over the years. Like I've mentioned before, I've been in Asia since like the end or the beginning of 2012. So I don't know, it's like almost 7 years. And along the way, of course, it's easy to meet other international people when you're living abroad yourself, because it's easy. It's more than likely going to be your crowd. You definitely also, of course, want a balance of local friends, but you'll just get to know a lot of people, especially people who have been living abroad longer than you, shorter than you, etc., and everything in between. And one thing I noticed is that there's a lot of between. And one thing I noticed is that there's a lot of people who live abroad in another country, but actually haven't traveled to too many different places. Now, the only reason this would strike me is because sometimes, of course, during conversation, you're kind of like, hey, what do you like? What do you dislike? What have you been up to? And I've heard the sentiment before, like, oh yeah, I love it here. This is my favorite place. So if you say it's your favorite place, the only real way for you to know that is when you compare it or juxtapose it to other countries that you like more or less. And obviously it would be less if this is your favorite. However, if you haven't really lived or been to many other countries, how do you know if something or some place is your favorite? It's hard to know that. And so I don't like to put questions that directly to someone, like to challenge them, that hard, especially when we're having such a light conversation. But it just strikes me. It's like, I mean, I know if I went somewhere, when I first went to a place, and let's just say, oh, I really like it here. Um, I would just say that. I wouldn't say it's my favorite or that I'm in love with the place or something. It's just because if you haven't had too many different exposures, there's there's really no way for you to know. I mean, you could try to say, oh, I'm in love with the place, and this absolutely has to be it. I don't even have to look at other places. But that's kind of, you're closing off some, options and opportunities, and because you never really know if you haven't been to another place. Anyways, that's just something to keep in mind is don't just right away think, oh, this is my favorite or this is the best. Yeah, I guess you could extrapolate it to other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be just a place, but for sure you want to weigh your options and check out other people's opinions, go to other places and do things like that. So that's just one thing that I found surprising over the years that I've seen or heard or encountered a number of different times. When someone just says, this is my favorite place, and then you kind of go a little further and it's like, well, actually I haven't lived in any other places. I don't really travel that much. At the minimum, I mean, go to a few different places in Europe, go to a few different places in Asia. If you have the chance, go to a few different places in North America and Latin America. At a minimum, if you only go to a few places in like Southeast Asia, or you only go to a few places in like Western Europe, those are all like in the same bracket, and they're gonna be more similar than different. So that's just one thing that I like to try to say to others in case they're wondering about it. But hey, that's the update for today, guys. Today is Monday afternoon, and I'm looking forward to getting back to Bangkok. Just 3 short days, and I'll be back in the Big Mango. So definitely looking forward to it. I already got my housing lined up and everything like that. So let's talk soon, guys. Take care.